Everybody,
Hi everyone.
welcome to another episode of Questlog.
Welcome to Questlog Season 2, officially in our second season.
Wow.
I noticed that last Questlog we called it a new segment, and I don't know if you can consider it new anymore. So this is Season 2 of Questlog. It's not different from Season 1 in any tangible way. But it is the second season, so that's great. Chelsea, tell them what we're playing.
We're playing We Love Katamari because we love Katamari.
That's true. We love it. Chelsea, you played this all by yourself.
Yep.
When I was out of town.
I did.
And how did you like it?
I like it.
How did
it's fun.
How did it stack up to the original Katamari? Or I guess not. Katamari Reroll is the remake.
Yeah.
How did you like it compared to what you've played previously of the series?
So far it seems pretty much the same. You're doing like the same kind of stuff, just new puzzles, new places, new music.
New faces.
Yeah. There's a new quote-unquote story. Before it was your dad went and got drunk and fucked everything up. And you have to make new stars in the sky.
Yeah.
This time, he's become famous, and it's the people on Earth who want new stars to be made and Katamaris to be made.
Okay.
And at first, your dad is like, I don't want to make more Katamaris, but then they tell him how cool he is, and he changes his mind. And he tells us to make Katamari.
Now, I've noticed that you have become a strawberry.
Yes. That's another new thing in this one. Before, you had, like, cousins that you could find. But you didn't really do anything with them.
Okay.
In this one, you get to play as the cousins you find.
Okay.
And I switched over to this little strawberry dude.
Is that
he's cute.
Is that Ichigo?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So I see you're talking to babies.
Yes.
Did the babies love the king?
They came all this way because the king can grant wishes, apparently.
No, you can't. They were misinformed.
Hey, Dad!
That's not your dad, that's your uncle, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Well, uncle, dad, he's still a dismissive authority figure, so that's what really counts at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, that time, they didn't have to convince him. He was just like, okay, sure. Candy's cool, I guess.
Okay. Oh, the twins are there with you.
Apparently, you have to make it big enough to roll them up.
Okay.
Anyway, welcome to Questlog.
Welcome to Season 2 of Questlog. Well, that's a lot of candy, homie.
So much candy.
That's a lot of candy.
My dentist is gonna be so upset with me.
Wow, Chelsea, I don't know about you, but this game seems pretty sweet. Ha, yay.
So today we're talking about Game of Thrones,
Watch out for that witch.
a show that is not very sweet.
Watch out for that red woman.
Ow.
That red woman. Game of Thrones, that game is over. Hey, when people talk about Game of Thrones about me, I say, more like game over. And everyone's like, shut the fuck up. Everyone around me tells me never to come back.
Can you blame them?
No, it's not nice. Whoa, you have so much time to pick up. How many sweets do you need to get?
1 meter. Or wait, that's how much I am.
You are.
Yeah.
1 meter.
I don't think gave me a number. I think it just said big enough to pick up those twins at the beginning.
Big enough to pick up the children.
Yeah. I'm just destroying this gingerbread house.
Yeah. That's why that witch is so pissed.
Yeah.
That's her witch.
That's her house.
She's gonna. This is Hansel and Gretel.
This is kind of a dick move.
Yo, you know Hansel and Gretel, right?
Yeah.
Is you're German?
Yeah.
That's one of our mods is named Hansel and Gretel. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Hello. It's 57 seconds. So, Chelsea, for the people at home,
yes.
let's talk about the context of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Game of Thrones, it ended. Season finale.
Yep.
Series finale, actually. It's all done. There were 8 seasons.
Yep.
And they decided that there shouldn't be any more because they were done. And so they made the last one. And I got my fingers on the pulse of America. And
Also, in case it's not obvious, spoilers.
oh yeah, spoilers. Everyone's dead. I got my fingers on the pulse of America, and they are none too pleased with the conclusion of the series.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was also very disappointed.
Yeah.
Cause it just wasn't the same as the good show that I liked from before. What the fuck is that you got?
It's all the gingerbread.
No, what is he's got in his other hand?
Oh, I found a present.
What is the present?
I don't know, it looks like a carrot.
Well, I don't want one of those.
Hey, it's Gretel.
Hey, it's Gretel. Just nudge that over a little bit.
But yeah, last season, not that great. I was always kind of like a casual viewer, fucking casual.
Fucking casual.
Like I liked Game of Thrones well enough, but I wouldn't have been upset if I like never, finished it or anything.
Yeah.
But like even from sort of my standpoint, I definitely noticed like a drop in
Good?
yeah.
A serious decline in good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got real bad, huh?
Yeah, the last like 2 or 3 seasons just kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean, holy moly, huh? When you think about like, I don't know, the thing of it is that like a lot of people are sort of drawing like the conclusion that like it got bad once the source material of books ran out.
Yeah, for sure. That was the sense that I got.
And I tend to agree.
Like, I think a lot of Game of Thrones strengths were like that did still kind of keep going, like some of the characters and stuff were only because they had such a good foundation to start with. Like, for instance, one of my big criticisms of the show, just in general, is that like it is not very feminist.
No. Not very.
No. And it's
not
like
terribly.
And it's like it has strong female characters. But the way it treats
them anyway.
Yeah, or at least it did. But then like the way it treated them a lot of times, and especially in the end, was just awful. And I think a big part of like why it even had good female characters to begin with was that in the books they're good.
Yeah.
And like I haven't read the books but from what I've heard, they are a lot more like not misogynistic.
It takes a lot more like.
Yeah.
The women seem to have a lot more agency in the books.
Yeah. They're like fuller, more well-rounded characters, and they have their own stories, and they're not just reliant on male characters or anything like that. And I think one of the reasons that the show did have good moments of good female characters with like Sansa and Arya and Dany and Brienne was because of that. But then when they like ran out of the book material and the writers had to like come up with their own things, they're like, what do we do with these girls?
Girls do. I don't know. George R. Martin didn't tell us. George R. Martin, who is, pardon, me, but an old ass man.
Yeah.
From Hobbit times. Managed to write better female characters than D&D, who are, I assume, younger.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. You know what? Like, one of the things that I was thinking about was how it felt like, D&D, which is the cute abbreviation for the two showrunners.
Yeah.
I don't know the real names.
Not Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it was DB and something else.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it seems like they were really like, I don't know, trying to pull sort of the writing in the direction of like big budget, like blockbuster.
Yeah.
Or high concept, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially with the way like the seasons without any source material went. And I think that's why they like fell back on like all these really lazy like, tropes, especially when it came to female characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't remember which one of us said it after the penultimate estimate episode, but like one of us made a very good joke where we did a Brooklyn accent. It was like, hey, Danny's just on the rag, I guess.
Yeah.
Which literally felt like what
when she goes crazy.
Yeah, it's what they felt, it felt like the writer's room was like saying when they wrote that episode.
Yeah, I think after we watch the episode, we always skip the afterwards thing because it's stupid.
Yeah.
And I think I was like, all they're gonna say is they're just gonna explain that Danny was just on her period and that's why she went crazy and killed everyone.
Yeah.
And then you did the Brooklyn thing.
That's right. It was a collab.
Yeah.
So that sucked.
Yep.
Yeah, like it just seemed like such a contrived.
Yeah. Like even in general, and I know we'll talk more in depth about this in a little bit, but like pretty much all the characters sort of became like a lot dumber and like they strategized less and their motivations became weird and stuff like that. And I feel like it became extremely obvious with some of the female characters like Cersei and Sansa, who spent so much time in the show earlier, like learning, in Sansa's case, the politics and how to like manipulate people and get what they want. And then in this last season, neither of them like did anything.
Yeah, I mean, Sansa sneaked one on Tyrion by telling about Jon's real deal. And that was probably the extent of her politicking.
Because money, Greta.
Because money and like, I don't know, man.
Because the books became really, or they were already popular, but then HBO wanted to get on that money bandwagon before anyone else. They didn't want to wait.
Yeah.
Because George R. R. Martin takes a really long time to write his books.
George R. R. Martin takes his time with his books.
If they waited for them to be over, they wouldn't have a TV show probably for like 10 years.
If they waited for him to be over, we would probably all be dead, except George R. R. Martin, who's gonna live to infinity.
Yeah.
Chelsea!
No!
Fucking... right in the water!
Whoops.
Ugh. Yeah. Definitely, it's just the money game, right?
Yeah. And I mean, if they'd been better writers, then it could have been fine still. Like, there have been other adaptations that start before the source material is done that do all right.
Yeah, ever heard of Full Metal Alchemist, the first one?
Yeah.
That was pretty good. The theme of that was kind of weird and Never mind. No, listen. There are other examples that I just can't think of right now, but they are real examples.
It is possible.
It is possible, that's right. I remember when I played this level for the first time as a kid, it was really frustrating and I hated it a lot.
Yeah.
So enjoy.
It reminds me a little bit of the Cowbear ones, but not as bad.
The Colbert ones?
Colbert. There was this really good tweet. Someone tweeted the creator of Katamari, and they were like, "I love your games, but why are the Cowbear levels so hard?" And he replied, "Because I am a jerk." And they're like, "I understand."
It did seem like everybody was real dumb, huh?
Yeah. The whole crux of the show, it's called the Game of Thrones because it's all about the political intrigue of all these different high families of this kingdom.
But the HBO showrunners would have you believe it's actually about big old fights.
Yeah, it's about them doing political intrigue and drama and betrayal and all this shit to gain power for themselves.
But the big fights.
And the initial seasons, it emphasized that, and it was about that and character development and
character relations.
And I saw I did read one sort of review article thingy talking about how this past season didn't have any of sort of the scenes that were so abundant in earlier seasons of characters just sort of traveling to places and talking.
It didn't have the cool hangout scene.
Yeah, and to some people maybe that seemed boring, but it was that was how a lot of characters got their character development and their relationships, and that was a big part of what drove the story. And when they got rid of that in these last seasons, it's not only does that detract from getting that development and stuff. It also made it really obvious that their geography is weird in the show, and characters were just sort of teleporting all over the place. It felt because they didn't have any more scenes of them traveling anywhere. Jon Snow would be in by the wall or whatever.
Jon Snow would travel,
and then suddenly he'd be in King's Landing or something, and it's how did you get there?
Jon Snow would travel across a continent in what seemed like a day.
Yeah.
And it was very jarring. It was very strangely paced. To answer your question, Greta, I would say that the season where it truly seems to get I'm not so sure about this anymore, bad, it feels like season 6, which is coincidentally where it lines up where the book stopped. I mean, I agree that when the book's source material stopped, it got kind of bad.
I'm just setting these children on fire.
That's cool.
Get out of here.
So for the Lord of Light.
Yeah.
So Zora High wills it. He needs you to burn children. Chelsea, you blew it.
Oh yeah, so that's another thing to talk about. They just dropped a lot of plot lines and foreshadowing. Azor Ahai in particular, they spend so much time throughout the seasons talking about this giant prophecy of Azor Ahai, the prince that was promised, the guy who would show up and save everyone. And multiple characters made a big deal out of oh, is it John? Is it Danny? And then they didn't really ever talk about it again.
It incredibly failed twice. It was a double failure, Chelsea. Because on one hand, George R.R. Martin with his books, he likes to keep all his prophecy and fate shit very vague. So in the books it would kind of make sense if it never happened how it sort of was supposed to happen. Because that's just how he do. But on the other hand, with the TV adaptation, they were all about like making things happen the way they were supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And yet they totally like dropped all of the like fate prophecy shit in the toilet. Nothing like to suggest fate or prophecy happened at all, except for like a vague, like some vague words that the fucking that red woman said.
Yeah.
Like right before Arya does the cool ninja trick.
Yeah. And like, it's valid to have it be like, oh, and the prophecy didn't happen or something for some reason, or like, or it happened in a way that no one expected. That's fine. But they just straight up like, prophecy? What? Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. It was like such a vague thing. So like Melisandre, the
priestess,
the priestess who kept like going on about fucking the fucking prophecy, how fate was supposed to happen. So a big part of like season 6 is that she has a crisis of faith, but then she revives Jon Snow after he gets murked. Mm-hmm. And so she like goes on and on about like how, oh fuck dog, you're Azor Ahai, the fucking main dude who's gonna save everyone.
Yeah.
And this is like a big deal. And the fact that it's done like so straight-laced, like would, you know, lead one to believe it's like, okay, Jon Snow is like the main guy, he's like the hero, and we get it. You know, like Jon's storyline for pretty much in the books and in the movie, in the books and in the TV show, Jon has been pretty like a straight, like laced like hero. He's like the good guy. He's always trying to do what's right even when it's hard, blah blah blah. And you know, Jesus Christ and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're like, oh, Jon's the good guy. So Jon's the hero. And the big thing, Azor Ahai's big thing that he's trying to stop is the Long Night, which is the fucking White Walkers, right?
Yeah, the ice zombies.
The ice zombies. The horde of ice zombies who are going to eat literally everyone.
Yeah.
So, in the actual part of the show where they have the big fight against the ice zombies, which happens before the last season is over.
Yeah.
Like before the first half of the last season is over.
Yeah.
Happens. And you know what Jon fucking does?
He runs around and looks nervous, and then he yells at a dragon.
Yeah, he runs around and looks nervous and yells at an ice dragon, and it's like, Princess was promised. Oh, Azor Ahai, the legendary hero. No, it's ultimately Jon Snow's younger sister who is the person who fucking saves the day, which, you know, cool.
Yeah.
I like Arya. You know, she's a good character.
Yeah.
But it's like...
Her character arc was maybe the only one that didn't get completely fucked.
Yeah. But so it's like, no, Melisandre was totally fucking wrong!
Yeah.
That is what every time!
And then she tried to save face by being like, yeah, Arya, you should go kill the Night King. I totally knew this from the beginning that this would happen.
I knew this would happen, which is why I first backed fucking Stannis.
And then Dany, and then Jon.
And then Dan, and then Jon.
Just keep picking them until you get it right. And then eventually you'll be right.
Batten zero, lady, come on. So that seems like a really big piece of the plot that they just fucking dropped big time. So like kind of Arya, who is, if you don't have any context, Arya has spent like the entire show like having bad things happen to her and then being consumed by revenge and learning to be a fucking magical assassin to get revenge. Uses her magic assassin powers to kill the main bad ice zombie. And it was put forth with very little fanfare that if you kill the main ice zombie, you win.
Yeah.
So she does that and they win, and the season is even half over. So I don't know. It's like Jon Snow's big part to play ended up being, oh, he kills Dany.
Yeah.
Which has fucking shit all to do with Azor Ahai.
Yeah. And also, like, having to kill Dany in the first place was stupid because her descent into madness felt so forced.
Her descent into madness felt like a panicked teenager needed to turn in an essay the next day. Like, how are we gonna Chelsea, you have to pick up some wood.
I've tried.
I felt like a panicked, like, I have to, oh shit, the last season of Game of Thrones is due, oh, we forgot to write the plot. Just make Dany turn out to be plot twist the bad guy. Fuck it.
Yeah. It's like, Dany becoming evil could have been an okay twist if it had been, like, developed over the course of the show. Or if the show had gone longer and it was developed more over time. But they just, like, shoehorned it in. And it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, people will say that, like, oh, come on, dude, Dany has done, like, atrocities all over the place.
Yeah, so did everyone else.
And I feel like that's a little bit selling her short.
Yeah.
Because...
like, her whole thing was that she was trying to, you know, stop all the atrocities and free the slaves and be a good ruler, unlike her predecessors.
Yeah, like, she had empathy for, like, the downtrodden. That was, like, kind of her whole thing, is that she had a bad sort of... had lived under the thumb of, like...
she's an abuse survivor.
Shitty people for, like, her whole life, and so she had empathy for them, and so she was trying to, you know, make the lives of the, you know, vulnerable better and, you know, visit justice upon
and then
the abusers.
They have Tyrion try to justify it by being like, oh, she killed all these dudes, and we thought she was a good person for it. And it's like, yeah, but that's because she killed evil people.
She killed, like, slave owners a lot. Like,
it's like, what are you trying to argue?
She killed a lot of slave owners?
Are you trying to say that next time someone kills evil people, we shouldn't thank them and be like, oh, but what if that's just the first step and they turn evil, huh?
Like, yeah, it's like, not only that does she, like, kill slave owners, but she, like, clearly spent a lot of time killing, like, really brutal slave owners.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she, like, wanted to broke the wheel of, like, the whole Unsullied shit, because, you know, being an Unsullied is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And she didn't want that to be a thing anymore. And she did that with, like, Marine and all of these other cities in Slaver's Bay. So she broke, like, this really brutal system of slavery, and she, like, kept at it. And you know what? Fucking when Tyrion tried to, like, make good with the slavers,
it didn't work.
It didn't work. And everyone who said, you can't make good with the slavers, all they understand is brutality, you just have to do violence to the slave owners, they were fucking right. Because the minute, like, Tyrion showed them mercy, they, like, stabbed him in the back.
Yeah.
So trying to, like, say that, oh, her, like, total, like, crazy murder spree is the logical conclusion of her character, like, doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
And I don't buy it, and you're dumb, and they blew it. I mean, there were problems with, like, kind of the way, you know, Dany's character was, like, portrayed. There was definitely, like, some real smacking of, like, white savior to her whole bit.
Yeah.
But, like, in terms of, like, her personal struggle and, like, her whole ethos, it was still, like, a good character up until they made her insane for no reason.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, they're trying to be like, oh, you know, she's a Targaryen, Sometimes they're crazy.
I mean, it definitely felt like they, and I know a lot of people have criticized this, they just wanted some really big twist that you wouldn't expect. And it's like, having a big twist that blows your mind is good. It can be if it's done well. But if you are doing a twist for the sake of having a twist, and it doesn't make any sense in terms of like the story, then you're not gonna make your audience feel impressed. You're gonna make them confused.
Yeah.
And upset.
Good point, Greta.
What did Greta say?
Why didn't she just show the slave owners compassion like Steven Universe would? Yeah, man. It's like a really shame because I really did like Danny's character.
Yeah.
Even through when it was starting to deteriorate, even through the fuck it, let's melt the Charlies bit.
Yeah.
Like, that part is like pretty forgivable because just about everybody in the show is like kind of brutal.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's doing executions. Like, John, literally Jesus Christ, is doing executions. So,
yeah, it's hypocritical to say like, oh, she did some bad stuff. So, you know, like, like all these other, like the other characters didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you really want to make the argument, it's probably shittier to get melted by a dragon than to like just get shot in the face with an arrow, like how John killed Mance Raider, the king beyond the wall. But even still, it's like kind of, you know, I don't know, man. It doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
Damn, Chelsea, you still got it when it comes to Mario Kart, I gotta say.
Thanks.
But yeah, I think if we're trying to establish like a morality baseline for Game of Thrones, which we are going to hold all the characters to and decide whether or not a character is a monster, then I don't know, up until Dany decides to do like genocide, she was pretty much on par with everyone else in terms of
in the second to the last episode.
Yeah, in the penultimate episode when she was just like, fuck it, genocide. Like, such a hard to justify thing that like the writers did.
Yeah.
So that's too bad. I don't know. I think you can like write a real long ass paper on like how Dany is like maybe one of the worst handled character arcs in media.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I think there are a lot of other characters to talk about, and certainly talking about the character arcs of the other characters are going to be less stupid in comparison. So I'm like, I don't know. I think that another like pretty stupid character arc ended up being Tyrion.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because he's like kind of like, he was like for the longest time like everyone's favorite.
Yeah, he was
like,
definitely my favorite character.
He was definitely like the Pickle Rick of characters because everybody loved him.
Yeah.
No, but for real, yeah, everybody loved that guy. And then, you know, I don't know if he got stupid in season 5 or season 6. Because in season 6, he was definitely stupid because that's when he started like being Dany's advisor, and as soon as he like became Dany's advisor, he forgot how to do anything.
Yeah.
But in season 5 was when he was like busy being like fucking hauled around by Jorah Mormont as like a special prize for his girl for his GF.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he was stupid or smart during that season.
I feel like one of the things that we were talking about that you could sort of call maybe frame as like an in-universe explanation for why he became dumb, but it still doesn't really hold up.
Yeah.
Is that Tyrion was established as being very smart when it comes to like politics, and court manipulation and stuff.
Yeah.
And not when it comes to advising about war
Yeah.
and battles.
Right.
And that's sort of what he became, is an advisor about how to attack. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and that's when he started giving advice that was just terrible.
Yeah.
And I guess you could be like, well, that wasn't his forte, so that's why he suddenly was bad at it. But it's like, well, then he shouldn't have been doing it.
Yeah, it's like insane to me that like for some reason like Dany was like listening to Tyrion over like Grey Worm.
Yeah.
But like the thing about it though is that like Tyrion does definitely do war advice, and he does definitely always fucking manage to get it wrong. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that he also did diplomacy advice to Dany, and he always got that wrong too.
Yeah.
So it was
they wanted to just subvert your expectations.
They sure
you
did
thought
for 3 seasons.
You were like, Tyrion is the guy who's smart and knows what he's talking about. If everyone just follows his advice, everything will be fine. And then they're like, nope, flip the script. Tyrion is terrible now.
Yeah, it would have been something if Tyrion was right even once.
Yeah.
And of course, like, he gets to decide what the politics is at the end. It's like, wow, I can't imagine this going wrong, since he gets to decide. The guy who's proven himself for 3 seasons to be totally inept at this, actually.
Yeah, another thing, going back to what I was talking earlier about the show being misogynistic, one of my favorite scenes, and by favorite, I mean favorite because of how awful it is I don't remember what season it is, but it's the scene where like Dany has her own sort of war council, and it's like those ladies from, what is it, Dorne?
Yeah, Dorne.
And it's them, and
that's season 6 or 7. It's season 7.
It's them and Yara from the Iron Isles, and I think there was at least one other lady. I don't remember who.
I mean, was Olenna there? Because I know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was Olenna, and Olenna, who was also known as like being a great master manipulator. And they're like all together in this war council with Dany, and it's like the first time all these ladies are like working together and to figure out a plan and stuff, which should be cool.
Yeah.
But then Tyrion shows up and is like, hey, let's do this other thing. And they're just like, oh, okay, sure, we'll do that instead. And then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then all the ladies die.
It's like crazy.
The ladies from Dorne get captured by Cersei and get murdered. And Olenna dies. And it's like, Tyrion, this is your fault.
Yeah.
And then that was like one of the few times where we actually watched the after talking thing, and the writers were all like, oh yeah, it's this first time all these powerful women were together, and it's just a real great moment for women everywhere. Hashtag feminism, you guys.
For them to all defer to a man.
For them to all do what a man says, and then they all get killed.
Yeah, it's like crazy to me, because like not only did you have like, you know, I get maybe like not 100% listening to Olenna.
Yeah.
But you had Yara and like the Sand Snakes there who like have been.
And I think I think Yara also it was when she got captured or something.
No, Yara gets captured. No, okay. It might be actually.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But anyway, yeah, it's like Yara and like the Sand Snakes are like fucking.
And like I don't remember what the women wanted to do that Tyrion derailed. But it probably would have been a better plan.
Probably would have involved less dying. Yeah, it was bad and trash. Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a shame that they did so little with like just Dorne in general.
Yeah.
because Dorn was, I don't know, Dorn's my favorite. If I had to, I say if I have to live in the Seven Kingdoms, which would suck, I would live in Dorn, because that place seemed tight as hell.
Yeah.
They just drink wine and like have orgies. And everyone's cool. But in the TV show, actually, everyone in Dorne is intensely incompetent for some reason.
Yeah.
Except for like Oberon, who is only somewhat incompetent. Oberon? I don't know. So yeah, so in conclusion, Tyrion sucks and is a dumbass because they wrote it bad. Like, I think we talked about how like Jon Snow's whole like thing didn't actually go anywhere in spite of him being kind of the main guy.
Yeah.
He killed.
I mean, he was, personally to me, he always felt like kind of a bland character.
Yeah.
But in the last few seasons in particular, it kind of felt like he was just there. And he was just there to like be broody and have man angst about how to do the right thing and in the face of his morals.
I mean, like, his whole like struggle to do the right thing was a lot more, you know, potent in the earlier seasons, because it felt like he had something to lose.
Right.
Because he felt like kind of a real guy. Because like, it seemed like he was actually friends with some of the Night's Watch. Yeah. And it seemed like he actually was in love with that one redhead lady with the Irish accent.
Yeah.
But after he got resurrected, I guess they forgot to resurrect his personality.
Yep.
Because fucking every scene with him was him just like talking about duty and shit. And it was like totally devoid of like any sort of like passion. It was completely passionless. It's like, he was like, even when he was like horny for Dany, it didn't seem, they had like not a lot of chemistry, I thought. Yeah.
It definitely felt like something that was kind of forced just because they planned for them to get together.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think like Jon's character just kind of fell off. Yeah. So Sansa, kind of a pretty good character. Like, kind of like you said, she didn't do anything in season 8, which kind of sucked ass.
Yeah, but it also kind of saved her character from getting ruined.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I mean, her character, like, she had a good character arc. Like, yeah. Really.
Her character arc kind of concluded earlier, so it, I guess, didn't risk getting fucked up.
Her character arc kind of concluded when she killed Ramsay in Bastard Bowl. So in season 6.
Yeah, before it started getting quite as bad.
Yeah. I guess like you could say she did more character stuff when she like ordered Littlefinger murdered. Yeah. But I don't know, I didn't think that was very good, because the problem is that Littlefinger got the stupid disease in season 7. And like, he stopped being like a master manipulator and instead he became like your creepy uncle. Like, he was like so consumed with wanting to bonk Sansa that he stopped being like
smart,
this fucking clever like greasy snake, which is like what made his character good. Like, the whole time his character was like such a fucking slimy and like but like crafty weasel that you couldn't help but like love hating him. Yeah. But then once he just became like basically a pedophile, then you just regular hated him. Yeah. When his character devolved into, I want to fuck I want to fuck my ex-lover's daughter. Then it was like, wow, damn, no thanks.
Yeah.
I can relate to this character on exactly 0 levels. Fuck it. The only villain in the whole show that remained relatable even a little bit was Cersei. Just because her actress was like good.
Mm-hmm. So close.
So close.
Her actress is the best actress because she made $1 million for each episode where she just stood by a window and drank wine.
I mean, she did a really good job of it. I mean, no, up until the end, she was consistent.
Yeah. That was, like, one of the biggest disappointments for me, because I loved Cersei. Like, she was such a good villain.
Yeah.
You, like, really love to hate her. And the actress did a phenomenal job with it.
Yeah.
And then the last couple seasons, she didn't do shit.
Yeah, like in the last season, like
it was really disappointing.
Her big villain moment was she pushed Missandei off a building, which, you know, this was good. It did make me mad at her, but, you know, compared to what she did through like the previous seasons, it's like, come on, do a little better. It's like, I don't know. Some of the times it's just like, why is Euron even there?
Yeah.
Like, Euron was such a bad villain. It's like in season 6, they're like, gotta introduce a new guy. What if he's just a real horny pirate? And he's like one of the main villains. Like, what did Euron even do besides...
He killed one of Dany's dragons, I guess.
Yeah, but, like, did he need to do that?
No.
Like, because the Scorpion was invented by Qyburn, who was, like, already a good and established villain.
Yeah.
Like, just make some dickhead man the stupid fucking Scorpion. And, like, I don't know, like, if he's part of the Lannister army, then, like, just have Cersei take the credit for it. Just be like, with my brilliant acumen at politics and war, I killed the dragon. I mean, just whatever. Her ego's, like, pretty big. She'd probably say something like that.
Yeah.
You know, all thinking she fucking outsmarted everyone. She loves that shit. It's just, Euron was there for no reason. There was no reason to include Euron. I know that in the books he's like a big, like, scary fucking dude with, like, fucking Lovecraft magic. But in the show, yeah, in the show he's just a horny pirate. The whole reason he does anything he does is because he wants to fuck Cersei. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I hated it. You don't hate Euron, because there's nothing to him.
Yeah.
When he kills Dany's dragon, you're not mad at Euron, because it doesn't feel like Euron cares.
Yeah. That was also a thing that didn't make any fucking sense.
When Euron killed the Dany's dragon, but then also Dany killed all of Euron's boats with just one dragon.
Yep.
Yeah, that was tight.
And also, they, like, didn't at all see his ships when they turned around that mountain or whatever.
Yeah, it fucking...
They were those ships had stealth mode on, I guess.
Well, you know, to be fair, when Dany retaliated, she had stealth mode on too. It's just, clearly, they both, like, made a trip to, like, Jack and Hagar, and we're like, hey, how the fuck do I make you invisible shit? Or whatever, I don't know, it doesn't make sense, it's trash. It didn't matter. Yeah. I don't have a problem with, like, the logistics of, you know, a boat sneak attack on on what is essentially, like, a bomber jet, like, being total nonsense. It's like, whatever, we're already at dragons and shit, fuck it. The problem is that it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
To kill Dany's dragon.
It definitely felt like, again, another, like, moment purely for shock value.
It was purely for shock value. Because, like, the thing is that, one, you could be like,
And it was shocking, but only because it came out of fucking nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't shocking in like a, oh, it blew my mind way.
The thing that, like, really sucks about it is that, like, it doesn't make sense. It's like it didn't need to happen. Like, you know, Danny losing the dragon doesn't mean anything, because the thing is that Euron has taken prisoners from Danny's fleet without blowing up the dragon. Because, like, the other big plot point of that scene is that Missandei gets captured there.
Yeah.
But, like...
It was Danny's best friend.
Yeah. But, like, Euron does the same shit, doesn't kill a dragon, but captures Yara in, like, the same way.
Yeah.
So, like, and, like, killing a dragon didn't weaken Danny's army. It's, like, just total nonsense. It's like you just said. They just had to have it happen to have a big shock.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I'm also, like, just floored how at the end, like, Grey Worm and the Unsullied, who had, like, full, you know, who, one, were still very loyal to Danny, and two, had, like, full martial control of King's Landing.
Yeah.
Were kind of just,
and
like,
they were just fine with what Tyrion decided to do, for everyone to do.
They were just fine with it,
and then just left.
And just left if they promised to banish Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Like... What?
Yeah.
You did it. And then, like, you know, sort of the wrap-up of, like, Grey Worm and the Unsullied, like, is that they're like, oh, we're just gonna go fight slavers around the world. Yay, friendship squad, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Grey Worm at the end says that they're gonna go to where Missandei came from, I guess as a way to, like, because she wanted to, that's what she wanted to do if they lived.
Yeah.
So it's like, the sentiment is nice, I guess, but the execution is just...
Oh, weird. This is weird and bad.
Yeah. Would have been nice if they didn't kill off the only female POC.
What are you talking about? They still had...
Who did they have?
They had... It's... The thing is... Is that... And what you gotta understand... Yeah, I mean, they really did get a number on the... But I mean, like, how many female POC were there to begin with?
Yeah.
There's, like, the sand...
That's the problem.
Serpents and then Missandei.
Yeah.
It's like, that was it.
Yep.
I don't know, they had, they fucking did... That was it, dude.
Yeah, that was it.
I can't think of anybody else.
I think they might have had, like, one Red Priestess who was Asian.
Yeah, they had, like, some Red Priestess for, like, half of a second.
She was in, like, one scene, and that was it.
I mean, that doesn't count. They had tons of extra... They had, to be fair, they had tons of POC extra females. So totally...
Totally woke, you guys.
Totally woke. Cho.
Yeah.
Woof.
Woof.
That's what I want my dog to sound like. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. They killed all the POCs. They killed all the women. They killed all the gays. Except for Yara. Well, the thing is, Chelsea, is that Sam is a POC because he's a gamer. So technically he counts as a marginalized group.
I take it all back.
Oh, how much did you like that Brand was the king? That was cool.
I did not care.
You know, memorable character Brand?
Yeah. I saw someone tweeted, like, how ironic it was that Tyrion says, like, they straight up say, oh, what matters the most is stories and who has a better story than Bran, when literally everyone has a better story than Bran.
Yeah. Literally everybody has a better story than Bran. Hodor had a better story than Bran. I love this
Is this
song.
Animal Crossing?
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's just so bad. It's really painfully bad how...
Yeah, I also saw someone, like, I don't remember what exactly it was, but someone, like, showed something that Bran said, like, in an earlier season that directly opposed him becoming king.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. It was pretty bad. I saw a really good tweet where, like, it was like a dialogue of, like, Tyrion and everyone. It was like, yes, let us make Bran the Broken king. And Bran was like, wait, I don't like that name. And then, like, Sam was like, yes, Bran the Asswipe will be the king. And then Yara's like, yes, all hail Slut Lord Bran.
Yeah, throughout that episode, I was making jokes of, like, can we call me something else?
You can, the wise. Like, come on. I'm more than just my disability, you guys.
Not woke, Game of Thrones.
Oh, dude,
Not
woke. Surprise. And, you know, I'm starting to think that Game of Thrones might be problematic.
Yeah.
Guys. I'm starting to think
Thunk it.
that TV show that took a book and put in rapes where there was none might not be very woke.
What?
I know, right? So, yeah, I don't know where else to go. Like, I guess Clegane Bowl was cool. That felt good.
Yeah, Sandor maybe had one of the few character arcs that wasn't completely bullshit.
Sandor's arc was good. I thought, like, Theon's arc was pretty good, if not, like, completely insane. Like when he just rescues Yara! He, like, is like, I have to go rescue Yara, and then he just does it! And nobody knows how. He's just, 1 minute he says, I'm gonna rescue my sister, and the next scene he's, like, there in her chamber.
Yeah.
Rescuing her.
No explanation.
No, that's like a really good example of like why this season needed to be twice as many episodes.
Yeah.
I would have really liked to see how he did that. Aside from, I guess, fucking doing teleport into fucking stupid Euron shit.
Yeah, I read this article that was saying that apparently HBO did want Game of Thrones to be longer. Like, they wanted it to be 10 seasons or something. But D&D got hired to do Star Wars, and that's why they wanted to quit doing Game of Thrones and make it short. And they actually wanted it to be like 7 seasons or something.
Could you only have?
Yeah. So they like compromised and made it 8 seasons, but the 8th season only had like
7.5 seasons.
Yeah.
Really.
But that's also why like they just stopped caring.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Oh.
That explains a lot.
It really sucks. Like, on the one hand, it's like, I think all the people who, like, are signing fucking petitions to, like, have them try make the end again are, like, stupid, but I also get it.
Yeah.
You know, seeing as how the creators, like, clearly phoned it in.
Yeah.
It feels a little unfair.
Like I said, I'm more of a casual viewer, so I didn't super care that it became the shit fest that it did. But my heart like went out for people who were hardcore fans. Like, one of the things that I found kind of interesting was when I was watching this last season, I drew a lot of comparisons in my mind to the last season of Voltron. And the two are like very, very different shows. Like, one is, you know, a kid's cartoon about space robot kitty cats. And the other is like a politically intriguing drama about like high fantasy kingdom.
And it's gritty.
And it's gritty, and people die and shit.
And you see a titty once in a while.
Yeah. And yet, they had a lot of weird parallels. For instance, like, plot points getting dropped out of nowhere, character arcs just, like, going in very strange directions. Like, the story kind of went off the rails in Voltron, and it felt a lot like they were going for sort of like more of a big blockbustery shocking kind of thing, just like Game of Thrones did. And then some like just sort of weird small coincidences, like killing off their main female POC for no reason except like,
yeah, but listen.
But
the main female POC was like a way bigger character in Voltron.
Yeah, but like also, and they killed off Danny. I kind of like in my mind combined like Danny and Missandei's deaths in Game of Thrones and compared it to Alora's death.
Okay, so I see that.
Just because it was like the main female character.
I see those lives of women are just kind of a statistic for you, Chelsea. Interesting.
I'm not woke.
Not woke.
I'm just like D&D.
You're just like D&D.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And then like, and I think a big part of that is also that just like the showrunners not caring because they got signed on to other projects. Because the same thing happened with Voltron. The two main showrunners got pulled into other stuff. And also, Voltron sort of had source material because it was a remake.
Yeah.
But they also like threw away their show Bible allegedly, which was when things started going off the rails and not making sense. Which you could sort of draw a parallel of that to
running out of the book. Yeah.
And then by just sheer coincidence, they both had their last season as the 8th season. That was, and they had some weird numbers in terms of episodes. But yeah, I never thought I would compare those two shows until I watched the last season of Game of Thrones.
I knew you would compare those two shows, Chelsea.
Oh.
Because I looked in the flames. Zora High told me.
Oh.
That's a character in that's the dark elf from Voltron, right?
Yeah.
Zora High. You got so many friends.
Got a lot of friends.
Each one of those is one of our followers on Twitch. I don't know. What the fuck? What is happening with that guy? Your cousin is a fucking creep.
Don't body shame, man.
I'm not body shaming. He's like thrusting at us. I don't like it. It's making me uncomfortable. I don't know. With Game of Thrones, it's like you could kind of like nitpick all day on like how there have been like almost every character arc got like kind of just dropped. It would almost be like an exercise in like futility to like be like, okay, and here's this character, and here's how his or her character arc became dumb and inconsequential. So like I don't know, like a lot more to say. Outside of like that just happened in spades in the last 2 seasons. It wasn't the show that it was. Originally it was like a show about the characters, and it then became the show about the big fights.
Yeah. We were talking earlier today, and you compared like the battles in the previous seasons to the last one.
Yeah, so I mean,
Aw, the prince is cold.
So there are like a lot of times, you know, especially in the earlier seasons, like fights would happen and you would like barely see them or not even see them at all. Because like just watching dudes fight in a big battlefield wasn't what Game of Thrones was about. Like, it was about characters and like...
Am I gathering snow too?
I don't know. I think so. Whatever. Watching like, you know, characters fight wasn't what it's about. It was about like how the fighting affected them. How like the consequences of the battle shaped the characters.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, what I liked so much about it. And even when it did show fights, even when an episode was dedicated to a fight, it was dedicated to like what the characters were doing in the fight.
Right.
And not like big, huge moments. Like,
no.
Like the big thing is that the
This game's soundtrack is everything, Greta.
It sure is.
Ah.
The battle for the Dawn in the final episode was a big fight with a lot of like good graphics happening.
But you couldn't see them because
but it was very dark. You couldn't see them. But not a lot of character things happening.
Yeah.
Not a lot of new character things happening. Contrast that to like the Battle of Blackwater Bay in season 2, which is like another big fight where a lot of like character things are happening. You know, people are rising to the challenge. People are like making decisions on like, you know, what to do. Like a really good example of why the Battle of Blackwater is such a good episode and so magical is because like a big part of it is like, one, is Joffrey gonna fight? Like that was such a big plot point because obviously Cersei, being the helicopter parent she is like, my little baby precious boy cannot fight in the actual fight. Even though he's the king and it's kind of like one of his few duties. And like Joffrey eventually, since he's a stubborn little brat, is like, no, I will fight in the battle because I am the cool guy.
Yeah.
And as soon as it happens, then he like pisses his diaper and runs away. And so then his uncle has to fucking fight for him.
Yeah.
But like, since Tyrion's like whole character is like essentially a benevolent noble, he like fights the battle and he like uses his like cunning and not like his battle acumen. Let's just be clear, he doesn't win the fight with tactics. He wins the fight because he knows the fucking poo ducts of King's Landing better than anyone else.
Yeah.
Because that was his fucking job. And so it's like this moment where like a character uses like their niche skill set to help win. The other thing is that he like does the wildfire because he doesn't know about like how to fucking shoot good with a bow, but he does read a lot of books and he knows about like weird weapons from ancient battles that like helped turn the tide. So
Yeah.
in this instance, it's like actually Tyrion was good at war by virtue of being good at other stuff that Tyrion was already good at.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot about Tyrion's character, and you realize that like he's like very smart and resourceful and all that shit. In the Battle of Blackwater, another thing that happens, another big character arc that happens during the Battle of Blackwater is like the Hound's character arc, where, you know, he's like doing all the fighting, but as soon as the wildfire comes out, he's like, actually fuck this.
Yeah.
And he like pieces out. He fucking, and we learn that like, even though he's like been serving the Lannisters for basically forever, he's not actually loyal to them. He just does it because it's a fucking job and he's a nihilist.
Yeah.
And as soon as the job becomes too shitty, he bails. And like, that's a really good character moment that's like not necessarily important to the course of the battle, but important to the course of the story.
Right.
Okay, contrast with the like Long Night. There are character moments in it, but they're so small and so much of that whole fucking fight is just people running around, scary sets and the camera shaking and boom, boom, bam, boom, boom happening.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different thing. It's like, you know, doesn't seem like it sort of gels with what Game of Thrones originally wanted to be about. And that's why it was so disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't think that big epic battles are necessarily bad in a vacuum. I think that if what a series or a movie is going for is mainly to be like, oh, it's a fucking feast for the eyes, it's like spectacular to look at, then a big impressive fight scene, you know, is good and like makes sense in that context. But that's not what Game of Thrones is. Game of Thrones was the show where you'd spend like half an hour with a dude like dicking around at a campsite talking about how he's sad about his ex-wife.
Yeah.
In old-timey times. And that's what I liked about it.
Yeah. You definitely get the sense that, like, in the earlier seasons, the characters drove the plot, and then in the later seasons, the plot drove the characters.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like, in the earlier seasons, a character would do something, and that would affect things, and affect other characters, and where the story goes. Whereas, later on, it felt like characters were just doing things because we need something to happen.
We gotta make the thing happen.
And it didn't always make sense, but we got to where we needed to go.
We made it. Do you have infinite time?
I guess so.
How do you know when you're done?
When it's big enough.
How do you know when it's big enough?
I think the thing in the left Did I have to fill it up or something?
You have to fill it up? That ain't gonna be a good looking snowman.
Or maybe my dad will tell me.
Chelsea, classic Chelsea, just waiting for her dad to tell her what to do.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Chelsea just rolled up something weird and naked.
Oh.
Oh. So, I don't know, man. I guess ultimately, like, I'm not filled with, like, the vitriol and
burning
anger
hatred.
that, like, some fans are, like, filled with. I consider myself a pretty big fan of the series. Mm-hmm. But I'm just, like, not that mad. I'm, like, mostly just...
Disappointed.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm, like, you know, I guess at the very least, I'm glad it wrapped up. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that, like, it was an ending. I guess I could think of worse endings, but not that much worse.
Cersei wins.
I mean, I don't think that's a worse ending necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that the first 5 seasons are like the core, like, it's good. There's some really like immensely like good moments in storytelling in the first 5 seasons, like some really like memorable and like jaw-dropping moments, like really good, you know, TV in the first 5 seasons. And then beyond that, it never really reaches the height that it once knew. It's like all of the big moments that are supposed to make you like, I don't know.
Can I go up here?
No. Maybe.
Doesn't seem like it.
All of the moments in season 6 through 8 that are supposed to like really like leave you stunned just don't, because they feel so contrived.
I'm gonna see if I can get up here, but I'm having issues.
I see that.
I guess there might be an invisible wall there.
I guess one problem with like watching the first 5 seasons and then stopping is that you have locked yourself in a terrible trap. Because at the end of season 5, the kind of thing happens that makes you feel like you need to immediately watch the next episode. Because it's a big one.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. Unfortunately, knowing now, if I knew now what I knew then, I would be like, actually, I don't need to watch it. So, I don't know, if you do want to watch the first 5 seasons, I do implore you, really don't feel obligated to follow up on it no matter how cliffhangery it is, because ultimately, you will not be satisfied. I mean, you can if you want, but it's just never gonna, like, give you the like, resolution you want.
I did it.
So he made that snowman's head like the size of its body. Wow. I miss when the royal rainbow came out of his mouth.
Yeah, that was funny. Anything else to talk about Game of Thrones? Is that...
They're gonna make the Dunkin' Egg on HBO. They're gonna make the prequel.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it'll be good.
Maybe.
Maybe it'll suck. I don't know.
What's it about?
It's about some stuff. It's about two buds. It's about the I forget. It's about, you know, the like blind guy from the Black Fort who made you know the blind guy, the old maester from the Night's Watch.
Vaguely.
I think it's about him.
Okay, I don't care.
Okay. No, that's my dad. No!
Oh no!
Fuck you, Dad.
Why watch Game of Thrones when you can watch this?
This is
the true Game of Thrones.
This is basically the end of season 4 of Game of Thrones. Face hands.
Don't take your medicine late.
I took my medicine late.
No.
And I regret it. I've made a terrible mistake.
So do we want to move on to the next topic?
Sure, yeah. The only problem with the next topic is, like, I just don't know what to say about it. Besides, like, I like it good. What's the next topic? It's the Detective Pikachu. I like it good. Next topic. What do you like about Detective Pikachu, Chelsea?
I thought you could tell that a lot of love went into it. And, like, it was just very charming.
It was very charming.
And, like, the animation was good. The way that they, like, incorporated the Pokemon into the universe was very well done, I thought.
I kind of want to watch it again, but I only want to watch, like, the first 45 minutes of it again.
Yeah.
It kind of lost me when they went to the research facility. I was kind of like, I'm over this now. Because that's when it, like, really became, like, the main plot. And as we've, like, talked privately, like, the main plot was kind of silly.
Yeah. The strength of the movie definitely came from, like, the world building.
Yeah.
And the... just, like, having the Pokemon be in this world that's so similar to ours. More so than, like, the games. In a way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm rolling this guy. Okay.
Yeah, you're feeding him.
Ow. Excuse me, I'm trying to eat these pork bowls. I want a pork bowl.
Who doesn't?
Sand says Detective Pikachu was amazing overall.
I liked it quite a bit, but I mean, I think it had problems.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I think, I agree with you that, like, the animation was, like, pretty spectacular. And, like, the visuals were really, like, really good.
Yeah.
I used this, phraseology, this idiomatic phrasing before, but it was a sort of a feast for the eyes. Like, it was so nice to look at. You know, Ryan Reynolds turned in, like, a really charming performance of Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
You know, it took me a little bit to, like, get over the fact that it wasn't Danny DeVito, but I eventually did get over it.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean, like, the actors, like, all did, like, a pretty decent job. Like, the characters they had to work with were pretty,
silly.
I'd say. Pretty campy.
Yeah.
but that wasn't awful. The problem wasn't that the story was campy, it's that the story got kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like the story started taking itself a little too seriously for me for like what the story was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
Poisson.
like I really would have like, I really just wanted it to be like a, almost like a, you know, a straight up just like an actual murder mystery.
Yeah.
Like I would have much rather it have been like a way more contained murder mystery without fucking pokey floats in it.
Yeah.
But like, you know, Hollywood, gotta make it big and big.
Yeah.
And so they made it, they concluded it with like a fucking big old big time, like two like really big time action scenes. Like big time action scene 1, it's like escaping from the lab from the Greninja on the back of the Torterra. Yeah, I don't care. And then big time action scene 2 was like fucking the weird mind melding Pokemon Pokefloats thing.
Yeah.
Again, didn't care. When it was like, when they're doing the investigating, when it was like them doing hard-boiled, like private dick shit, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I love this. I want this. This is what I want.
Yeah, same. I'm glad you're liking Breath of the Wild, Sans.
Yeah, me too. When it became Avengers but Pikachu, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Mewtwo, Clark, says Sans. Breath of the Wild is amazing.
It is amazing. Look, man, I fucking went to the fucking movie theater in 2000 when the first Pokemon movie came out. The bad guy was Mewtwo then. And when I found out that it was Mewtwo again, I was like, great. Did he not learn his lesson? The other thing is that like Mewtwo makes direct reference to like some of the source material, which makes it seem like in universe, in this real universe with real people and real stuff, like Ash is also a real guy who exists, and all the shit he did happened, which is really weird to think about it once you're dealing with like flesh people. But I guess counterpoint, that old man does mind meld with Mewtwo, so they already got that avenue covered. So, like I said, I don't know, man. I would like watch the first half of it again because that was the part I really liked.
Yeah.
No, you needed to fight the other sumo.
I didn't know if I was big enough.
Well, only one way to find out is to bonk him. Give me a old bonk, Chelsea.
Also, I didn't know where he was. I got lost.
Good point. I didn't know where he was either. Another thing about it is I appreciated sort of like all the little tiny nods to like older Pokemon media. Like the fact that they did fight on big floats of Pokemon was, at least in my mind, like a nod to Pokefloats from like Smash Bros. Melee. The fact that like, I forget all the little things, but there's also the fact that like when they fought like the Ditto, that they couldn't get the face right. That was like a nod to the anime.
Yeah.
And then there were like other ones.
But where was Team Rocket?
I know, man. Oh, and Volt Tackle being Pikachu's best move. I liked that a lot. Because that's true. Yeah, man. I don't know. I wonder, I like, in the old anime, it's like hard not to like think about it and like think about how much actually the best part of that was Jesse and James. But I don't know how well Jesse and James would have translated to like the, you know, live action Western market medium. It's like, And here comes James with his big fake titties. And it's like,
Egg.
I know Mewtwo was created by people. I watched the first Pokemon movie. Okay? I watched when fucking it was created by people and then Giovanni bought some badass armor so it could be Dragon Ball Z times. Don't you talk to me about fucking Mewtwo. I played it on the Game Boy before you were an alive human. And also, Mewtwo in Pokemon fucking Pikachu's detective didn't hate people. It was M. Night Shyamalan twist. He was actually trying to help everybody. The main bad guy was that old ass dude who, you know, as soon as he was on the screen, it's like, that's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Even though they tried to set up his son as the bad guy, I was like, no. That bad old ass man is the bad guy.
Yeah. Really big old flan. Or pudding.
But I don't know, Mewtwo's kind of a boring villain. Like, Team Rocket would have been a way better villain for Detective Pikachu, because Team Rocket's a crime syndicate.
Yeah.
You know what detectives do? They solve crimes! Wow, I will fight you because I had Pokemon Red on a Game Boy. So you can take your Game Boy Advance and put it in a time capsule, which will be opened up after my time capsule with my regular Game Boy on it. I played it in the 3rd grade. For all of the summer of 3rd grade, it was all I cared about. But yeah, I don't know. That's my big like criticism of Detective Pikachu. I wish it was just actual detectives and not like let's have to go save the world real quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's another thing. There was another Psyduck thing. Oh yeah, I thought that like the main love interest had the Psyduck because of Misty, and Misty like always had Psyduck out, and I thought that was like kind of a fun nod.
Yeah. How fucked up was it that Detective Pikachu and what's his face, the main dude, just doused Mr. Mime in gasoline and set him on fire?
No, but I loved that bit. I know that it's like.
No, I know, it's great. It's hilarious, but also so fucked up.
I know that it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you think about it for more than a second, it's actually terrible.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, that's just par for the course for any Nintendo IP. I take that to mean they were staying in line with like how Nintendo makes like any sort of media. It wasn't out when I was in 2nd grade, Sans, so, I guess I predated Pokemon unlike somebody in the chat.
This guy just goes off into the... He's Team Rocket.
He's Team Rocket.
He went blasting off. Yeah, I enjoyed it. As someone who's like less familiar with Pokemon.
I still have my Pokemon cards. So, yeah, checkmate, idiot. Yeah, you're a fake Pokemon fan. This is like a thing. This is a thing that's older than you are. This was made before you were. And I have it. And I just have it right here. Yeah, but do you have like some from the base ass set?
The true battle of
Like,
the nerds.
these are like one of the first to ever come out. I don't have to like argue with you on this because I'm right.
Why are you?
Well, I'm creating content, Chelsea. Or you want me to not do that? You want me to sit in silence? I can do that too.
Your friend is wrong.
Yeah, hold on to them until you're in your late 20s, like a normal person.
And then when someone on your internet show starts contesting who is the true fan, you can bring him out.
I'm not saying you're not a true fan, Sans. I'm just saying that don't tell me facts about Pokemon. I know facts. I know about it. Your friend just wants your cards.
It's all an elaborate ruse.
I've like honestly thought about selling the cards though. It's just that like, you know, when I was a kid, people was like, oh, hold on to these because they'll be worth money someday. Mm-hmm. And like I look on eBay and it's like, they're not fucking worth money.
Yeah.
They're not worth anything.
Just like Beanie Babies.
Yeah. They're still worthless. I like the elements that they added to the trading card game that didn't exist in any other form of Pokemon. Like, there's a card that's like Evil Professor Oak. There's no Evil Professor Oak. There's fucking no Evil Professor Oak anywhere. Just hold on to them longer.
Yeah, maybe in another 10 years, something will happen to all the other cards in the world and you'll have the only ones.
There you go.
But all around it was a good movie.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh, you're collecting paper cranes.
I gotta take 1,000 of them to get a wish.
Yeah, that sad book I had to read in 2nd grade.
What's that book?
A sad book about the girl who gets cancer because of all the fallout radiation from Hiroshima, so she folds 1,000 paper cranes to try and make a wish to not die, but then she dies anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a good book that I had to read when I was a little tiny kid. Chelsea, you're not gonna make the deadline.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, you got a present.
Anything else about Detective Pikachu?
Nothing comes off the dome, my man, unfortunately. I don't know, go see it. If you know what Pokemon is, and you have any sort of, like, vaguely positive feelings towards it, then probably go see it. If you dislike Pokemon, or are totally neutral towards it, or, like, don't know what it is, maybe don't.
Yeah.
But if, like, you ever saw, like, a picture of Pikachu and were like, yeah, that's cool, then it's probably, like, a decent enough to see.
Yeah. On the other hand, don't go see Aladdin.
Oh yeah,
wait
I forgot.
until it's on Netflix and then watch it.
I did not see Aladdin, but Chelsea saw Aladdin. Chelsea, tell me about Aladdin.
It was basically what you would expect of another Disney live-action remake.
Very good, I see.
It was, pretty. The visuals were good.
So Chelsea...
Good costume design, good sets. That was basically it. I liked Will Smith. Will Smith was good in it.
Oh.
And the actress who played Jasmine was good. Greta liked it. Well, good for you, Greta.
No, Chelsea. No. You're not... If somebody likes a thing that you think is bad, you're supposed to belittle them.
Fuck you, Greta.
Yeah, fuck you, Greta.
Your opinion is wrong.
Your opinion's dumb.
Nah, I just like... The original, you know, was so much better. And it felt like a lot of the live-action remakes feel like they just are doing it for money and so that their option doesn't run out. An option is when, like, basically their rights to that version of the story. If the option runs out, then other people can use that specific, like, version of those characters in the story without any, like, legal action.
But isn't a lot of those stories mythology?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm saying it's like that specific version. You can do your own version of the story of Aladdin, but you can't, like, use the Disney songs and Abu and Iago and, like, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And the genie.
What if... Oh, never mind. I thought of an idea, but it didn't actually make any sense.
I want steak.
The problem is that I respect your opinion to like Aladdin, Greta, but your steak opinion is truly upsetting to me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fine to like Aladdin, it's not fine to like well done steak. That's like a crime.
Yeah. But, like, it's just, again, like all the other remakes, it's like, just from a viewer's perspective, just watch the original.
Yeah.
Although, with some of the other remakes, I didn't, like, I thought they were just meh. But with this one, I specifically, like, did not like some of the choices they made. Specifically with the songs. I didn't really like the new version of the songs. And I don't know how much of that is just nostalgia and just like, oh, this isn't what I'm used to, you know? But, and how much of it is more objective, like I just don't like this arrangement. But a lot of it was kind of jarring to me, because, like, the new, I don't know enough about music to really articulate it, but, like, the new instrumentation and some of the way they, like, turned some of the lyrics so that they spoke them instead of saying them, that sort of thing. I just did not think it was an improvement. But like I said, I thought Will Smith did a good job as the genie. Jasmine was pretty good. They gave her own original song, which in theory is a good idea, but the song itself did not feel like a musical, like a song from a musical, so much as a song you would just like hear on the radio. so it felt a little out of place. And the part where they put it felt kind of forced. And another thing that kind of was weird was they constantly went back and forth between like original dialogue and lines that they lifted straight from the movie. And that also felt like kind of forced sometimes.
Did they do that in the other remakes? I haven't seen any of like the Disney remakes.
I don't remember. The only one I saw kind of recently was Beauty and the Beast, which was also I think in that one there were some things that they lifted directly from the original, but I feel like it wasn't as much, or at least I didn't notice it as much. They did this weird thing in the beginning where they would, like, they're doing the part where Aladdin and Jasmine are like running away from the guards through the town, and they like sped up the footage in parts when they were running around, and it felt really weird. It was a strange editing choice.
That seems almost slapstick.
Yeah.
In a way.
And also, like, you know, just because animation can give characters such like expression that real people just physically don't have.
Yeah.
That a lot of, and also CGI too, that a lot of the characters just did not feel as, I guess, colorful.
What does CGI stand for?
Computer generated image?
Okay.
Something along those lines. But like, for instance, like Abu and even the carpet in the original, you know, feels like they have personality. And in this one, it did not.
I just thought it stood for cool graphics, incredible.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. Yeah, and I did not care for the actor who played Aladdin, his performance. And again, I'm not sure how much of that was just the dialogue was kind of bad sometimes, and how much of it was his acting. But like, I feel like, especially compared to like Jasmine and Will Smith, his performance was lacking. Also Jafar felt a lot more boring.
No.
Like in the cartoon, again with like his expressions in the animation, he feels very like, I don't know, over the top and dramatic.
Did they get Gilbert Gottfried to do Iago again?
Iago, no, that was another disappointment. Iago didn't really talk. He was just kind of like a parrot that said things sometimes in a parrot voice.
So it wasn't Gilbert Gottfried.
So it was not Gilbert Gottfried.
Fuck that!
And he was another character that no longer really had a personality, which was unfortunate. Computer generated imagery.
No, it's cool graphics. Amazing.
Amazing. Oh, there was one change that like I think it was one of those moments where you're like, thanks, I hate it. Where they changed lyrics occasionally to like, I guess, make them more modern or something. And one was where Will Smith, when he's singing Prince Ali, there's this line in the original version where the genie says like, heard your princess was a sight lovely to see. Mm-hmm. And they changed it so Will Smith just goes, heard your princess was hot! And something else. And it was just like, what?
Hey, your princess was a thought. Cool graphics incorporated.
Yep. Ow.
You can get bullied by a kitty cat?
Yeah.
Don't let that cat push you around.
But yeah, honestly, some of the songs, new versions of the songs, kind of made me glad almost that the Mulan remake will not be a musical.
I'm sad the Mulan
But
remake
yeah,
will be a musical.
that's why I said almost, because they have like one of the best Disney songs.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I'll Make a Man Out of You. You can, if you're with a random group of strangers and you start singing it, they will sing along. That one and the Pokemon theme song.
If you're with a random group of strangers, they'll sing I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Yeah.
I'm gonna prompt you to do that, Chelsea, when we are at the Ralph's next.
You're just like on a school field trip on the bus. You start singing that and everyone will sing along with you.
Not me.
Oh.
I didn't know that song. I didn't watch Mulan, Chelsea.
Well,
I didn't watch Disney when I was a
You
kid.
had a deprived childhood.
Fuck yeah, I had Pokemon cards.
Oh yeah. But can that really trump
Yes.
I'll Make a Man Out of You?
Yes. Because
Are there still Disney movies that you need to watch?
No, we watched them all.
Did you watch Princess and the Frog?
No, we didn't watch that. But does that really count?
Yeah.
Everyone says that one's not good, and it came out like when I was an adult.
It has some good songs.
Yeah, it's got Friends on the Other Side.
Yeah.
I know, that song owns. I watched it on YouTube. I also think it's weird because frogs are kind of hot in that movie. Don't know what it is about the way they drew the frogs, but it's kind of hot. When the lady turns into a frog, I'm like, oh, it's kind of hot. I kind of like that. I like this.
Greta thinks Princess and the Frog was fine.
Wow, what a glowing review that makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, I feel like that pretty much sums it up. It wasn't bad or anything, but it wasn't as good as a lot of other Disney movies. What's the best Disney movie?
You talking to me or Greta?
Anyone.
Is this counting Pixar's or just Disney movies?
Disney is Pixar's Disney. Cinderella 3.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Cinderella 3, but I want to watch it just because I hear it's funny.
any of the straight to like VHS adaptations
Yeah.
of anything. Aladdin 2.
Lion King 1.5.
Yeah, Lion King 1.5. The one where it's just Timon and Pumbaa.
I actually liked Lion King 2, but I don't know if I watched it again if I would like it as much.
Little Mermaid 2. If there is one.
There is.
Okay.
It's Little Mermaid again, but opposite, because her daughter wants to be a mermaid.
What does she do? Talk to Land Ursula?
Ursula has a crazy sister, it turns out.
Who lives on the land?
Nah, she's still an octopus lady.
Oh.
Yeah, I've actually heard that Cinderella 3 is pretty good. I've been wanting to watch it, but I just never got around to it.
Oh, the best Disney movie is the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, where Quasimodo finally gets to fuck.
Yeah.
Does Esmeralda count as a Disney princess?
I don't know if she's on the roster.
Does Meg from Hercules count?
I don't recall usually seeing her in the
What do you have to
thing.
do in a Disney movie to qualify for princessdom? Do you just have to marry a prince?
There is actually a criteria for like the official, like when they're on the merchandise for the princesses. That's why Mulan is a princess, even though she's not at all affiliated with royalty.
I guess that's true. Now that I think about it, that is true.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with like what they do in the movie, plus how much their movie makes.
What?
And that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Yep. You probably Google it if you want to look it up. The official rules.
I'm just reeling from this revelation.
I think the best Disney movie, or at least one of the best Disney movies, is Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah, that's the best one. Oh, it solved it. That's actually the best one.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I like this duck rendition of the song.
Who wouldn't like that?
I can't say.
Well, whose fault is that? The game developers. Chelsea, I don't think you're gonna make the deadline.
No.
Oh.
No, I think it should probably wrap up anyway.
Okay.
Because I'm not really sure what else to say about Disney and Aladdin.
Not good. Don't watch it. Is Mulan gonna be good? The answer is no.
Yeah, unlike Aladdin, I mean, like, I do like Aladdin, and I have fond memories of it, so I did sort of care. But Mulan is, like, holds a special place in my heart. So when they fuck that one up, I'm gonna be upset.
Maybe don't watch it. Chelsea, you have the option of not watching it.
Even if I don't watch it, I'm gonna know.
That's an interesting sort of philosophy. I don't know how to rebut that. Yo, you gotta get it twice as big in 2 minutes. Good luck. Don't run into the boat. Come on. Be careful. Use a little bit of be careful. Chelsea, drink a tall glass of be careful. Oh, you can roll up cars now. The best part is that you get to listen to the song again, though. No, can't roll up that shrine, Chelsea. Hate to say it. Sorry to say. Hey, who's excited for E3? It's coming out just around the corner, ain't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for the Nintendo press conference. I can't wait for them to not talk about Animal Crossing. I can't wait for them not to talk about Bayonetta 3.
I can't wait for them to not talk about Mother 3.
Well, I can, because I've been waiting for that for my whole life. I can't wait for them to not even acknowledge that they, at some point, announced Shin Megami Tensei 5. You know what you can look forward to? the next Smash DLC character. Yay! Chelsea,
No.
you didn't get big enough.
Should I try again, or should we call it a night?
I'm hungry.
Okay.
Are you hungry?
I'm a bit hungry, yeah.
We didn't eat so we could bring content to you, the fans.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, the fans. Everybody in here who cares about Game of Thrones. Anyway, we've proved that Game of Thrones is bad, Aladdin is bad, Detective Pikachu is good, and I'm a better Pokemon fan than Sans. Thank you, and good night. Dad, no.
No.
I mean, the ironic thing is that, like, he's all broken up that his dad was all, like, weird about a second place trophy. But every time we get second place, my dad crushes my fucking hard work.
Yeah.
It's like...
You become your parent.
Dad, did you not learn anything from your experience as a child? Bye!
Bye.
Bye,
Hello, guys.
everyone.
Well, thanks for hanging out.
Quest completed. You got 300 EXP.
Yay.
You leveled up. Now you know Greater Murder Spell.
Hell yeah. Come back on Monday for Ocarina of Time.
Come back for Ocarina of Time.
We're also going to start Persona 5 this week.
I'm going to do tricks.
Come back for that, too.
Yeah.
And some other third game that we haven't
Chelsea
figured out.
is to decide to play games like a real gamer.
Yeah.
Like a grown-up
Not
gamer.
a fucking casual. Bye.
Bye.